Okay, cool. So, it's become tradition to kick all these off now with a 25-second life summary challenge.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you've done any preparation yet, but
I tried.
if you can, basically sum up your life story in 25 seconds from birth until now.
Okay.
I've got a timer here, so are you ready?
Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah.
Cool, go.
My name's Candace Oxley. I was born on 11th of October 1990. I started my creative process as a dancer. I danced professionally for 5 years, but trained from the age of 5. That was my first storytelling expression. I realised that storytelling was part of what I enjoyed doing. That took the form of dance to start with, it now takes the form of journalism, and I decided that I wanted to tell stories to people I care about, hence the birth of Inner Values.
Perfect. Went slightly over, but I
Really?
just wanted to listen to that anyway. So
How much over did I
I was
go?
about 10 seconds
Okay,
over. But
yeah,
you were in your flow, so I didn't want to interrupt you. I wasn't expecting you to talk about dance at all there, so I was just going to start off with how did it get into in other news. But I guess first things first, clearly a passion of yours was dance.
Yes.
At what point did you realise you wanted to pursue something slightly different?
It came from like adulting, to be honest. I danced with a dance group called Uchenna Dance for a good few years, and then just other bits of dance, whether it be performance, dance writing, etc. And then I was like given an ultimatum. There was a piece that I was in that was performed at Sadler's Wells in 2015, I want to say, called Our Mighty Groove, and it was centered around a New York club experience that my choreographer had. And she wanted to recreate that moment in terms of like the New York club scene is very free when it comes to house, Afro house, whacking, voguing and all of that.
Yeah.
As a UK dancer, that energy was very different for her.
Yeah.
So she wanted to recreate that experience for the UK viewer. So the piece was in the round. You're a dancer, so you know what that means.
Yeah,
but for those who are not dancing, in the round means that the piece happens in the centre of a space and people are circulating that space.
That's right, yeah.
And then, so the piece happened in the round, and there was no start and end really. People came into the space thinking it was just like just what's going on here. There was no chairs, no anything, and then we were in and amongst the audience. So the piece started next to I could start whacking
straight away
randomly next to somebody, and that was really amazing. And then it was commissioned to tour, but at the same time I was presented with a job opportunity in a more conventional way, and I took that. And ever since taking that, I've not really danced in the same way since. And I realised a couple of weeks ago that some of the gaps in my life currently are because it's not filled with dance. I realised that recently, and I've decided to take some more steps to do just training. I'm not thinking too far ahead about like, oh, let's have a dance school, oh, let's tour, just train. Get back into your body, get back into like understanding how your body moves, because it takes, once you've been out of it for a while, although it's ingrained, it does take a while to understand how you're
100%.
where you're going.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about as well.
Yeah.
I've asked a few people this, but that was a passion of yours, and everyone has a lot of passions. How did you choose which one that you wanted to pursue, sort of doing full time? And what do you know, if you can know, what's going to be a better route to go down? Because I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. How did you choose that route to go down?
I chose the journalism route. I did dance as a degree, and part of that degree came dance criticism, which is essentially dance journalism. And I had never thought about journalism as a thing before that. So when I was doing writing for dance, I thought, what else could I write about? What else encompasses journalism? I was so naive, I had no idea. And that comes music, it comes anything, it comes world, it's just news.
Could be anything.
So I thought, this is cool, I like writing, I like arts, let's merge the two. And that's how that synergy came about. But in terms of choosing, I think that humans are so multifaceted. Like there's so many things that we all enjoy. I think it's really important, and one of my things right now is about understanding purpose themes. That to me means understanding what the underlying theme of your life is, and whatever that pattern looks like, that can be how you express it. For me, I'd give you an example. For me, I realised one of the purpose themes for me is storytelling.
Okay.
The first time I told a story was when I did a dance performance.
Through dance, of course, yeah.
The next time I told a story was when I wrote about my car journey from my house to Disneyland.
Yeah.
The next time I told a story was when I drew a picture. The next time I told a story was when I decided to interview somebody.
Absolutely.
The next time I told a story is when I decided to record.
So that's been the common theme.
So that's been the common theme. And understanding that that's the common theme has allowed me the freedom to feel like I don't actually have to choose one thing. I can express my theme through loads of different things. In terms of being more focused, right now it feels like In Other News feels more important to me right now.
Got you.
I think what I'm trying to share with regards to In Other News feels the most grounded. So that's why I'm pursuing that. But at any point, like something that Oprah always says, at any point, you're allowed to say, stop. I'm going to pursue this.
100%.
And I don't. That really doesn't answer your question.
No, I was listening.
Really
I really liked what you said
question.
about the common denominator in your life.
Like,
and that can be expressed in so many different ways.
Exactly, and I think a lot of the time we try to think of, what's the one thing we should be doing? But I think we should focus more on what's the one theme we are doing. Like whether that's education, whether that's self-love, whether that's, I don't know, loads of different themes in life, because it can take a different expression.
100%.
Yeah.
In Other News is great though, I guess, because it actually allows you to express it through so many different ways anyway, through the people that you interview or through who you document as well.
Yeah.
So I guess moving on to In Other News specifically, how did it start and why did you feel it was important to have a platform like that? Because it seems like it's definitely already creating a lot of impact from what you're doing.
Yeah, so thanks for that.
No problem.
And I decided to start it because the story's crazy. So I left my job. This like more
brave.
More, but I'm quite prone to doing that. Like just don't love it.
Not feeling it.
So I left my job and I was like in a limbo for what felt like ages. It was 5 months of like looking for new work, trying to do something else, and then I load into like this feeling of what on earth am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, and not in a hypothetical sense, but in a literal sense, like what on earth am I doing? Do you see what I'm saying?
I get you. Yeah.
And I got a temp job at some electrical company where I was doing like office management. And I was sitting there and the job was so mundane, I can't even tell you. And I just decided, I'm a visual person when it comes to planning and thinking of stuff, so I'm constantly drawing spider diagrams, although I have a phobia of spiders, which is so I just decided, do you know what, Can, today, think of, like, get everything out of your head and get it on a piece of paper. So I drew my name in the middle and lots of different things that I enjoy. Current things that I enjoy and then current things that I'm doing, and I realised that the things I enjoy and the things that I'm doing do not match.
Interesting.
And
they were not aligned.
They weren't.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, why am I doing this? And I love this. Yeah. Like the two sheets of paper were so different. And then I started to circle things that made me feel fulfilled. Then I started to like put extra stars on things that I could make money from.
Yeah.
And then I started to link different things that could coexist together. So like I'm passionate about seeing people that look like me doing something that people don't talk about. Cool. That sounds like journalism. Cool. I know people that are doing amazing things. Cool. That links.
Yeah.
So cool. That's something to park.
Yeah.
I enjoy listening to music and like writing articles about new artists. I've done a little bit of music journalism in the past as well. So I thought, okay, great. That also links to journalism. And everything just linked back to writing. And I thought, what do I feel like I would like to be reading about right now? And I thought, black people in Britain doing amazing things. There it is. And literally in that job, on that desk, is where the idea was birthed. And because I've also thought about the fact that news is depressing as it is,
100%.
but we need to hear it.
Yeah.
We need to know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
I just felt like it wasn't balanced. This is not a resistance project to all the bad news. It's a balanced view of what's going on in the world. And I think in our world, in terms of the black community, we don't hear enough about the amazing movements that people are making. We count a lot on Black America to form the identity of Black Britain, and I think there's a really unique nuance about what it means to be black and what it means to be British, and that's still being carved out. People are still trying to work out, like, what does it mean to be black and British, because we never self-identify as that. It's when someone asks you, or let me use myself, when someone asks me where I'm from, my next question is often, oh, area or country?
So true, yeah. So
like
true.
Black Americans, when you ask them where they're from, they say, oh, Brooklyn.
100%. They actually
do you know what I mean?
The state, the
Tampa.
city, the borough, they'll tell you.
And you're like, oh no, like hereditary, like where are you from? Africa. Do you know what I mean? It's only very few people that know, oh, like Ghana, Nigeria, Jamaica, but anywhere other than kind of like what you might deem as like obvious black places where black people come from, they're Black American. And they're quite proud of that.
100%.
But we just don't have that same pride. Maybe it's because you don't have much to be proud of it. But I just felt like those stories needed to be told. And more personally, I looked at the people I know and thought, why does no one know you do this?
So true.
Why does no one know that this is the impact you've had? Why does no one know that? And that's what the most important thing for me about anything that I do in terms of feedback. Someone could say, oh, this was shot really well, or that was written really great. But for me, the biggest compliment I could get is, wow, Cam, I never knew that.
Yeah.
And I thought that job done.
That's 100% satisfaction for you when you bring to light something which isn't naturally brought to light.
And even talking to people that are a little bit more high profile people, I don't really want to talk about the thing that you're known for.
True.
I want to talk to you about the thing that people don't know you do. So that community projects at that school. Or put in, like Stormzy, put in Kids Through Uni.
100%.
Like, your album's sick, but what I want to know is where that came from.
100%.
And like, let's talk about that, if that makes sense. So that's in a very long way.
No, I love that. I just wanted to go back to what you said about that diagram and that process that you went through to basically figure out what it was that you should be doing.
Right.
That should be taught in schools, first and foremost, because that is so much more valuable than Pythagoras' theorem or whatever else it might be. But obviously amazing as to how you got there and what it is doing at the moment. What do you think can be done as well to give a more accurate narrative of minorities within this country? Because I think definitely a starting point is your platform, and it's great what you're doing, but what do you think more can be done to really change the narrative?
I think more people, just more of the same. So a lot of the people I know are doing exactly that. So just more of that. And then also more, I think more opportunities to bring similar expressions of that together. Like, I'm very much about, like, if you ever feel like you're doing something that someone else has already done, remember that Evian and Volvic produced the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's true,
there's room for both of you.
It's not bad news if someone else is already doing it.
Exactly. So don't get discouraged if you are the Evian and you decide you look at Volvic, because I like Highland Springs, I don't like Volvic. The crux of it is I like to be hydrated. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not about like what brand I like, it's about the need. And I think in saying that, I think if somebody does what you already do, it's okay to serve that mission if you care about it just as much. I think we're in a state of like, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, everyone wants to be a CEO. Fantastic, own your own thing. But if it is for the sake of just doing it, so you want to resist the corporation, I just feel like that's
not enough of a why.
That's not enough of a why. Because ultimately, this entrepreneur that you're going to be is going to build a corporation if you've got longevity. Like, all of these startups, like Facebook was, like YouTube was, it's now like where we're sitting right now, wasn't entrepreneurs to start with, and it's now a corporation. So understanding that it's okay to collaborate. It's okay to share the same vision as somebody and work together. That's okay. That doesn't make you any less. That doesn't make you any less important. It doesn't make them the leader. Do you know what I mean? But equally, it's okay to do something that someone else already does. Because there's room for both.
For everyone. And that moves on to I saw something great on your website about the difference between dreamers and visionaries. What do you really think separates the two? Because like you've just said, everyone's got an idea, But what do you think separates someone from being a dreamer to actually becoming somebody who's a visionary and making a real impact?
Yeah, consistency and constant revisiting of your why. I'm an ideas person.
Has your why changed? So has your why changed, by the way? Like,
No.
It's always been that.
Yeah, it's always been heightening the visibility of black people in this country doing amazing things.
Yeah.
It's always been that. And yeah, I'm very much about like character of people as well. Like I like people that have got that are okay sharing that thing that's like Like I like that moment. Like today in an interview I had that moment, and I thought this brings humanity back into the world.
Yeah.
Like all of this pretense that we've kind of got, just in general right now for me just feels
forced.
I just feel tired.
Yeah.
I just feel tired. And you know, I can fall into it, and I'll stand up and say that sometimes.
Yeah.
I fall into that, but it's really important. Authenticity is so important.
Yeah.
Authenticity is so important. But back to what you said about dreamers and visionaries.
Yes.
I think consistency and constant revisitation of your why. You actually cannot ignore a consistent person, whether you like them or not. Like.
Well, you see it with just simple things on social media. Yeah. Someone who posts regularly, loves their craft, might not make any difference or create any attention for about 2 years, yet one video, and then all of a sudden people, overnight success. It's like, hold on a second, let's revisit, they've been doing this for time.
Someone I can say that I feel like has been doing that is Mo the comedian.
Yep.
So I remember being in uni and him coming to my uni, and I graduated in 2012, and he was doing this in first year, so that means it was 2009.
Yeah.
He was coming to my uni and doing little comedy sketches. I remember him doing little comedy sketches here.
That's 10 years ago. Yeah.
Can you deep it, please?
So true, so true.
10 years.
That's actually a decade
And
ago.
people are now saying, wow, where's he come from? Fam, I've been seeing Mo.
Yeah.
I've been seeing Mo. Like, for me, he's always been funny.
Yeah.
And it's never like, like he's changed his style. Like he's always been that funny to me.
Yeah.
But literally, you can't ignore somebody that's consistent. As soon as I saw him like emerging a little bit more, I thought, right, that's that you from Uni. Wait, that's Mo. Like that's so mad. But yeah, you can't ignore a consistent person.
Yeah.
And also, he's very good at what he does. But to me anyway, he's genuinely hilarious. Like, I'm screaming.
That's the other thing I was going to ask you. So I think self-awareness is so important. Because some people have got a romantic version of who they think they are versus who they really are. I say that all the time, but how have you become self-aware? Obviously that diagram and that process you went through was great, but have you got any other sort of tips or advice for someone to get very, very self-aware so they know what they're good at, what their strengths are?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that because a friend of mine is arguably one of the most self-aware people I know. Like, the way that he knows himself is nuts to me. Absolutely nuts to me. He's very good at understanding where his trigger points are, and in spending more time with him and just around him, I've been able to see, cool, the reason you feel like this is because this happened 5 years ago, and because you never dealt with that, it comes out over here. And being bold enough to actually unpack stuff, because I think people are comfortable developing traits that they can see immediate results for. So like, yeah, boy, let's go gym. But like, let's stop being fearful is something that people naturally don't want to like deal with, because what it does is it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. Dealing with the fact that when you was 5, somebody told you that, go over there, man. That's all your cousin said. Go over there, man. And all of a sudden, you've been hiding in the corner. And then you think when people at work are offering promotions, you're not standing up. When people are saying you're really good at this, you're saying no, I'm not. But you don't want to take it back 25 years to realise that what actually happened was my cousin Brandon said to me, go over there, man. And that's where it came from.
Brush under the carpet, don't you?
And you just get a bumpy carpet. And eventually, when you don't want to trip over, you will. Because you ain't taking the things up from underneath. So I think it's real, and this is like kind of like a self journey for myself at the minute. Well, I think it's lifelong, to be honest, because we just evolve as people, but it's really important to get to the root of stuff, man. Like, however long that takes you, if it means you sit in your room and you're crying because you clock, it's because my best friend said that, or it's because my teacher said that, or it's because I wasn't chosen for this, or it's because I put in all the work for this, and it still wasn't good enough. It's because, and then you realise the continuing patterns. For me, freedom is so important, and whatever that looks like, put in the work for yourself, like put in the work to unpack it for yourself. It takes long.
I feel like it's so important though, because people waste so much time just sort of divvying in loads of different directions without really understanding themselves first. That will really truly direct them in the path they should be going down. So just it's so important.
You do it, and I guess that journey doesn't look. It's not glamorous.
No.
Just from just doing it for yourself, and in the age we are where it didn't happen if it's not on social media. It's I didn't go there if I didn't post it. Do you know what I mean? And I think because people don't post that stuff, it's not postable in the same way. People don't care, and they just I can't bother to deal with that. But it's honestly just in meeting new people in my life generally, and trying to understand myself better. I've realised that as hurtful as it might be, as far back as you have to go back in the archives to dig out, whatever it is, it's always worth it.
Yeah. So, what would you define success as? Because obviously, some people, like you just said, if it didn't happen on social media, it didn't happen at all. For you, what would you define success as for In Other News if you could view it in, let's say, 5-10 years?
A trusted source of great content, a place of genuine inspiration and impact, and a place where the multifaceted nature of blackness in loads of different career spectrums can be reflected in terms of what that looks like as a thing. I'd love to continue to develop the media and audio side of things, so the podcast, maybe evolve that into something visual, because I know podcasts are now changing into filmed podcasts.
I'm telling you.
That would be cool. And just continuing to develop the living room, even into shorts, so short films, stuff like that. I've got loads of different ideas. And as I said, I'm an ideas person. But sometimes I struggle with the execution part. I think everyone does. That's the ideas ultimately aren't worth anything until the execution happens. And I think there's the unicorns in the world are the people that got ideas and they can execute. But usually there's one or the other. So just for me right now, it's working on my execution part. And also remembering that when it starts, it's not going to be sick. Do you know what I mean? First iPhone, no one ain't using that today. But the bottom line is, I'm not using my iPhone. That's not what's going to happen. However, they had to start somewhere. And I think we give ourselves a little bit too much pressure for it to be perfect to start with. Because I think, perfection is the key to procrastination. Because if you want it to be perfect to start with, you're going to be doing that for 5 years.
For a long time.
For a long time. So I see it as somewhere that just generates really great content and people can see themselves. And see people they know personally. I think there's a real power in being able to watch something and be like, oh God, that's Thingy.
Exactly.
Rather than, oh, that's Thingy. That's someone all the way up here that I can't see how I can be like them. Not to be like them, but how I can elevate to that position or whatever that looks like for them. But I really and even for me personally, recently I've been really humbled by the fact that more of my iTunes playlist, I know more of the people that I'm listening to their music.
100%.
So to be yo, that's my friend from school. Oh, that's that girl I know from here. This is my friend from here. I love the fact that there's so many more people that I know personally that I'm genuinely being able to engage with what they do.
Exactly.
It's not some boy over here or some girl over here. It's people I can pick up the phone. And cool. I always say some of my biggest inspirations I can pick up the phone to.
So true. So true.
And I think there's gems everywhere.
There's gems everywhere. I mean, I was going to touch on that as well, because what you said about representing an accurate depiction of what blackness in Britain looks like, that's really why I actually love your platform, because it's telling stories that you will not see anywhere in mainstream media whatsoever. So personally for me, that's why I absolutely loved it. Cool, no problem. Right, so quick fire round. I just need the first.
So I have to answer it quick, as in Or they like short questions, or I have to answer it quickly?
Short questions.
Okay.
So you can just give me the answer and elaborate on it a little bit.
Okay.
On each one.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So, number 1, book that changed your life and why?
Ooh, I would say Oprah's What I Know for Sure.
Okay.
It's a really cute little book on her musings of essentially like what she now knows for sure from a different, like loads of different perspectives. So from like love, work, self, joy. One of the prominent things in that book that stood out to me is that in her joy section, she wrote down 15 things that bring her the most joy. This is really not a short elaboration.
No, please carry on.
She wrote down 15 things that bring her the most joy.
Yeah.
And when she did that exercise, she realised that most of them cost her no money. And then when I did the same thing, I realised the same. In that most of the things that bring me the most joy and peace and like fulfilment cost only my time. So why am I not doing more of them? And that really, that made me think about just like how I operate in life.
Cool. I'll check that one out.
Yes.
Second question: 3 guests, dead or alive, you would invite to your dinner party.
Jesus.
Yep.
Man
like.
Who else? Uncle Will Smith. I love Will, you know.
Will Smith.
Yo.
Yeah. He's definitely on my list.
I don't know because Jada's goals at the minute. This red table talk is.
I've heard about that. I feel like I need to check that out.
let me take Jada.
But you need to choose one.
Let me take Jada.
You're taking Jada over Will?
Let me take Jada.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Will won't be happy, but fine.
She won't be. He won't be, but it'll be.
And you got one more guest.
And then.
So far we've got Jesus and Jada. Sticking with Jays.
I feel like I need to choose another J now, so I can. Common.
Common. Okay. Cool. I like that answer.
Yeah.
One movie that's had the biggest impact on your life. And why? If any.
Movie that's had the biggest impact on my life.
Or just favourite film.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't watched that.
Oh.
I actually have not watched Finding Nemo.
That film.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo. I just love the story it told of like, especially the Ellen DeGeneres played the ladyfish in that film. Not the main, not Nemo, the other fish.
The other one, yeah.
But her naivety just made, and like her genuine heart to care, really made me, just.
That resonated with you.
Yeah, like. She gains nothing from helping Nemo.
Yeah.
But she just wants to because she just cares. Yeah.
I really need to watch that film.
Great.
There's probably loads here, but you've got to pick one. Your favourite quote or one that sticks with you.
Ooh, loads.
There's so many.
Loads.
But I like, you got to choose one.
Okay, the one that comes to my mind.
What came to mind first? Yeah.
Straight away, what came to mind was, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive.
Okay, I love that
Yeah.
one. Cool. And last one, if you ruled the world, what is the first thing you would change?
If I ruled the world, what is the first thing I would change? That is such an excellent question. That after every meal, you get complimentary dessert.
Automatically?
Automatic.
Just drop from the sky?
Drop anything you want.
Any dessert in particular?
Anything you want. So you could have lobster with mac and cheese, and then you just get a free dessert. So you have chocolate cake. I've got such a sweet tooth.
Yeah, so same. I'll be all for that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the first thing I change. First thing I change is probably get jollof rice on dispenser. But that's me.
Yeah, I have dessert, complimentary desserts for all.
Cool.
Actually, yeah, I think I'd like to do that. At the end of every week, at the end of every day, people that are in homeless shelters and like that are on the street with nowhere to eat could choose between a selection of restaurants and go have dinner.
Okay. Yeah. I like that one.
I'd like that.
Good shout. Cool. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right.